before. You'll notice that tonight I'm wearing headphones. It's because I forgot my microphone. I'm in a different location than I have been before. It happens. So hopefully it's okay. Sorry if it's a little windy at times. Although I think if I had the microphone, it wouldn't be any different. Okay, people are still joining. So, okay, just to say, I had an email today from the clinic asking if it is okay to do these sessions during the embryo transfer. It absolutely is okay, okay? Everything that we do in these sessions is gentle, but on top of that, I really want you to listen to your body always. So if something doesn't feel right to you, please don't ever feel that you have to do it. Reading up on embryo transfers today, more in depth, I've learned a few poses that are recommended, so we'll do those as well tonight. But again, in these sessions, we avoid twists, we avoid strenuous power yoga, and these sessions are really just all about you just enjoying being alive in your body right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, and of course we avoid deep core work. So again, if you're looking for a power yoga session, this probably isn't the one. And just, we still have people coming in. Okay. And again, just for those of you newer to this, just to say, my name is Julie, and I started doing yoga a long time ago. Oh my God, almost 17 years ago. And I started doing it when I was going through cancer treatment. So for me, yoga is very much a healing practice, a practice of dropping in and connecting into the breath and into the body and into the mind. So that's my invitation to you, is to just enjoy being here now. Again, apologies if at any point it's a little windy through the headphones. I'm up a mountain. I can't really do anything about it other than go inside. But let's try outside to start. If it's bad, because obviously I can't hear it, but if it's bad, send me a little message, and I can shuffle indoors somehow. It's a bit of a mess in this house, but anyway. Okay. So we are going to start with a centering and a breathing exercise, and then we are going to move into some warm-up movements, and then just flow very gently through some postures. Okay, we've still got a few people coming in, so you have to always press that admit button. And I think that's for all Zoom meetings after mid-September now, so. Okay, so let's start. So finding a centering position, you have two options here. You can either sit up nice and tall, or you can lie down on your back. So for those of you that maybe were working today, you might find if you were sitting at a desk a lot, or if you were standing a lot, that you might want to lie down, and that is absolutely okay. Okay. If you prefer to sit, please feel free to sit. So just find what is right for you. If you do come onto your back, you always have the option of bending your knees, coming down with the knees bent, with the feet on the ground, or you can extend the legs all the way out, just letting them flop and splay. If you have lower back sensitivities, do go ahead and bend up the knees instead. Okay. And once you find a comfortable centering position, either lying down or sitting up nice and tall, of course, you're always welcome to use any props that you have available to you. So any couch cushions, anything at all. They don't have to be yoga props. Okay. So find what's right for you. And then once you've either sat up tall or come down onto your back, just close your eyes and take a deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale, sigh or blow the air out of the mouth. And just do this a few times. Inhaling calm. Exhaling, sighing out, letting go of any stress or any tension. And any external sounds you notice, so whether that's from my end, if you hear the train in the distance, not so far in the distance, or if you hear any other sounds on your end, see if you can just allow them to be and notice what your reaction is. If the reaction is to be frustrated or irritated, or just a general sense of distraction. And remember that so often things are out of our control, with the exception of working on our responses to them. So see if you can just start to respond with an awareness, with an acknowledgement of whatever is there, the vibration of it, the life carrying on as it does, trains moving, birds singing, people talking. And then anytime you become aware of these things, just gently bring yourself back to your breath after acknowledging them. And then from here, take a moment to now check in with your face and see if you can just relax down through the brow, down over the corners of the eyes and the corners of the mouth. Loosen your jaw. And then check in. Just intuitively notice where you might be storing tension right now. We know tension can often manifest in the chest, the shoulders, the neck. It often shows up in the face and the hands as well. Oh no. And just check in with whatever is there. And see if you can just soften simply through noticing. And just remember that to experience something, we often need an opposite, a polarity. So to experience light, we need dark. And when we're talking about physical peace, the way that we can appreciate calm and peace in the body and in the mind often comes from the fact that we haven't experienced them recently, or we've experienced at or at the very least some level of strain. So see if you can just play with that rhythm of experience this evening. Again, unfortunately, you might hear external sounds, but that is part of an experience. That is part of being able to hear. That is part of life as it is right now. So see if you can just embrace the dance, embrace your senses. And then take the awareness and bring it to your breath and start to deepen the breath. Inhale through the nose, take the breath down into the belly so that the belly rises with the inhale. Exhale out the nose and feel the belly roll back toward the spine. So inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls, really using the diaphragm to breathe deeply. And then deepen the breath further. Inhale through the nose, the left, belly, ribs, chest, expanding all the way up through the inhale. Exhale out the nose, chest, ribs, and belly contract. So we inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Some of you might remember that this is known as a dirgha breath. So if you're newer to yogic breathing, the overall phrase of which is pranayam. So if you're newer to pranayam, just stay with this dirgha breath, breathing in and out of the nose, just filling up the lungs slowly, releasing them slowly. Otherwise, you might try coming into your ujjayi or your ocean wave sounding breath by constricting in the back of the throat in the epiglottis, as if you're inhaling and exhaling the word home through the nose to create that audible wave sound. And I suppose the benefit of the headphones tonight is that you can get a better sense of how that sounds. So if you're wanting to try the ujjayi breath, another way of thinking about it is if you were to fog and unfog a mirror. So you might hold the hand out in front of you to fog that mirror, and you would open your mouth and you would exhale. And then if you were to reverse that fogging, it sounds a bit like someone being surprised. But with the mouth open, the reversal in particular can be a bit hard on the back of the throat. So I want you to play with that only a few times with the mouth open. And then close the mouth and practice that inhale and exhale. And just remember that this is a practice. So if it resonates for you and it's something you want to play with, just go ahead and play with it. If it doesn't resonate for you and you just want to stick with that other breath, that's okay too. In the beginning, it's easy to activate the vocal cords here. So if you're thinking about that word of home to make that H sound, sometimes the vocal cords activate. but it's just an epiglottal constriction, no vocal cords necessary here. But again, it's just a practice, something to play with that gets easier in time. So whatever you're doing, however you're breathing, take another 5 rounds of deep breath here. Keep the face relaxed. One more breath. Okay. Start to mentally ready yourself for movement now. And in your own time and in your own way, just draw some movement back into your body, letting yourself stretch, roll around, yawn, sigh, just do whatever you need to do. And then this week, I think I would actually like us to start from the back because we haven't done that too often in these sessions. And it can be quite nice. So let's, maybe we did last week and I'm just forgetting, but either way, let's come down onto the back. And once you're down on your back, you have a couple options here. You might already be on your back, which is absolutely fine. But if you were sitting, just come on down. And you can either, again, bend your knees or you can extend the legs out, letting them flop and splay. So just find which of these feels right to you to begin. And then I want you to take a few rolls of the shoulders. So you're going to inhale, roll the shoulders up. Oh, and then exhale, wind them down and back along the earth. And again. And one more. And then inhale, take the arms up into the sky. And then I want you to bend the elbows and take hold of opposite elbows. So you've just got this sort of box above your chest here. And take an inhale. And then as you exhale, draw your right elbow down toward the right side, letting the left shoulder lift. So you get this really lovely stretch across that left shoulder. Just breathe into it. And inhale through center. And exhale over to the other side. Let that left elbow come down, right shoulder lifts. Inhale through center, unwind, and then interlace your fingers. Point your index fingers and your thumbs. So it's like you've got a little starter pistol there, or it's known as temple hands. And then draw your arms down to the sides of your head with the thumbs coming to the earth behind you. Now, if it feels okay to you, go ahead, extend your legs out to hip distance. If they're not right now, And I'm just going to move a few things. If you're like me and you're going to knock things over, just move them out of the way. I'm pretty sure a mosquito just bit the bottom of my foot, which is super pleasant. Okay. And then take an inhale and stretch here. And stretch as long and far as you can, like you're being pulled from the wrists in one direction, pulled from the ankles in the other. And if for any reason this doesn't feel okay against your lower back, then you can keep the knees bent. It's absolutely okay. All right, take one more breath here. And then on your next exhale, I want you to slide or walk your shoulders over to the right. So you're going to slide and then walk, and you're pointing your fingers over to the right, and that left side of your body, it should be feeling a little stretched. And I want you to breathe really deeply into that. Imagine that you're breathing into your left lung. Take another breath here. And slide and walk all the way back through center. Take a nice long stretch. And exhale, slide and walk over to the left. Really breathing into that right side, feeling that nice long stretch across the right side of the body. So we're in a supine half moon pose here. Supta Ardha Chandrasana. Breathe through. And inhale, slide and walk back through center. Take a nice long stretch there. All right. And then interlace all your fingers and lift your arms back up into the sky with those fingers interlaced. Bend your right knee, draw it in toward your chest, and then interlace your fingers over your right shin. Now, if your left knee is bent, extend this out here. Hopefully should feel okay. And I want you to flex both feet and draw that right knee as close to the chest as is comfortable. Try to keep the head relaxed if you can. Breathe into it. So this is in more what do I want to say? In more polite circles, this is known as chest to knee pose. However, one of the direct translations of this pose from the Sanskrit is wind relieving pose. So, you know, some people take yoga very seriously, which is fine. But actually, when you look back at the Vedas, there's a lot of humor in it. So always feel free to laugh and just enjoy being in your body and the silliness that that can also entail. Okay, take one more breath here. Some of you are horrified. I feel it. Okay. All right. Now, from here, just go ahead and take that right foot back down toward the ground. And what I'd like you to do is just walk your right heel in toward your right ankle in toward your left thigh. And then see if you can turn that leg out to the side so that the outside of that right leg is coming down. And the sole of your right foot is either against the left thigh or the left knee or maybe down toward the calf. See if you can find a comfortable position for that. Now, some of you, it will come right down to the floor and it feels super comfortable. some of you are going to have tension in the hips, and it means that that knee is lifted. What you can do in that type of situation is you can put a prop underneath. It might not be something you even do right now, but you're always welcome to put a prop underneath, so a cushion or a pillow, especially if you think this pose is comfortable, but you're just not quite there yet. So from here, interlace your fingers above your chest again. Point your index fingers and your thumbs. And once again, I want you just to take the arms down toward the sides of your head and take a long stretch there. So this is a supine variation on tree, which is usually a balancing pose that we do. And we're just going to also take one more little, I know it's very similar to something we just did, but notice how it feels differently. So I want you now to, again, walk your shoulders over toward the right and just see how this feels with that knee bent out toward that right side. So we're coming into a supine leaning tree. This is one of my favorite relaxing poses. So if you also like this, maybe make a mental note, file it away, because you can do these poses anytime. You don't have to have a yoga mat. You can just take a few minutes to drop into your body and into your breath in the middle of your day. Okay, slide and walk back through center. Rebend that right leg, extend it out, and then bend up your left knee, interlace all your fingers, and bring them over that shin, flexing your left foot. Draw that left knee in towards your chest as close as is comfortable. You just breathe into it. One more breath here. Okay. Unwind. Take that left foot down. Walk your left ankle toward your right thigh, and then let that left knee turn out to the side. Okay. And then swing your arms up into the sky again. Interlace the fingers, point the index fingers and the thumbs. If you want to put a cushion or any kind of prop under that left leg, please feel free to do so. And then take an inhale here. Nice long stretch, supine tree. And then exhale, slide or walk or the shoulders or both over toward the left. So again, you're opening through that right side. Take a few deep breaths here. So I particularly am a big fan of lateral stretches, which is what we're doing right now. And there are many reasons for that. One of which is when you open laterally, not only are you helping to warm up the spine, but you're opening the muscles between your ribs. And actually, by starting to stretch that, you are allowing yourself deeper breaths. So already we're helping to physiologically calm the body through the stretch and breathing. So lateral stretch is fantastic for relaxing. Okay, let's slide and walk back through center. And then bend your left knee, placing the foot on the ground now. Well, the knee's bent, you're just placing the foot on the ground. And then bend your right knee, placing that foot on the ground. Unwind your fingers, take your arms to the sides of your body. And walk your heels up toward your bottom as close as is comfortable at about a hip distance stance. So toes are squared forward. And I want you to really press down with your feet to start. So just feel the earth underneath you, pressing down through the ball, the side, the heel of each foot. And then as you're pressing down, we're going to inhale, lift the hips, lift the pelvis, lift the arms like there's puppet strings between your wrists and your hips. You're going to lift it all the way up. And then exhale, slowly take it back down. So hands and back coming back to the earth. Take a few more. Inhale, lift. And exhale down. And just take 3 more at your own pace. Okay. One more. Okay. And then when next you take it down, keep your arms at the sides of your body, press through your feet. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the pelvis up toward the sky. And then interlace your fingers under your body, bringing the palms together. Walk your shoulders in so that your shoulders are hugging around your spine. Now, it's really easy for the knees to go a bit wide or also for them to go in a bit. I want you to imagine that you're squeezing a big block or a big Russian novel between your legs and you're lifting that up toward the sky. So you're engaging the thighs and really breathe into that. You can play with a variation on this bridge pose by lifting your heels. Okay. Exhale, take the heels down. Hold this bridge just for another couple breaths. Bridge pose. Yoga poses aren't just for the muscles or the skeleton. So poses like bridge, any kind of back bend, really good for this one is good for your thyroid gland. It's good for your adrenals, for your kidneys. So it's not just the musculature or the skeleton that get the benefit. Okay, unwind the shoulders. Take the back down to the earth and then draw both knees into the chest, hug the legs. Take a moment just to sigh out. Okay. Now take your right hand to your right knee and your left hand to your left. And from here, I want you to draw the knees down toward your chest and then circle the knees away from each other. So you're opening up through the hips and feet are going wide. Circle the knees back together. So you take the legs down, out, and all the way back up. So you're just rolling them around and around. Now, this is good for many things, but one of the main benefits of this is that it increases the synovial fluid in your hip joint. So it's basically lubricating your hip joint. So if you're somebody that struggles with the hips at all, this is a great one just to do a few minutes every day. Okay, go the other way. So you take the legs away and then back together. A few more. Okay. Take them all the way back together. Now, thread your hands up between your legs, and I want you to take the soles of the feet together, so feet as if they're coming into prayer, and interlace your fingers around the outside edges of your feet if you can. Let the knees tip wide, and you should start to feel that in your hips. Possibly in the hips, but around the groin as well there. So it's a supine bound move, or what am I saying? Supine bound angle pose. And if you want, give your tail a little wag side to side. So you're just letting the knees rock side to side. I always think of my mom's golden retriever, Paddington, when he's on his back and he's super happy. So give us a few more little wags of your tail. Okay. And then rock it back to center. And if you want to play with something, emphasis on the word play. Tuck the chin in toward the chest and try to get enough momentum that you can just rock all the way up to seated. And in that position, and if you think, what the hell is that? It's okay, don't worry. You do what you can, and if it doesn't feel okay to you, that's absolutely fine. My feet are getting bitten, which I'm going to have to deal with. Okay, so soles of the feet are having wardrobe malfunctions as well. Good Lord. Okay, so soles of the feet are still together, and I want you to bring your heels in as close to your groin as is comfortable. Interlace your fingers around your toes, okay? And then take an inhale, send the heart forward, roll the shoulders back, opening up through the chest. So we come into a seated bound angle now. And I want you to focus on your spine. So from here, take an inhale, heart forward, shoulders back. And then exhale, tuck the chin in towards your chest and round back. And then again, inhale, heart forward, shoulders back. And really, I want you to sort of lean back but lift up at the same time. And I hope that you can feel this lovely traction up through the spine. Hopefully should feel nice. Exhale, chin in toward the chest, round back. And one more. Exhale it back. Okay, inhale. Take the heart forward, roll the shoulders back, traction through the spine. And if this is enough, stay here. But if you want to play with taking it into a fold, we can do that. But if you have any back sensitivities, either the flat back or the slightly arched back, those are always safer if you have any back injuries or activities. Always remember that at the end of the day, this is your practice, okay? So you know your body. I can't even see you. I don't think I know any of you in person. So you listen to your body. You are your best teacher, okay? So inhale, extend. And then if you want to fold, start with a flat or an arch back. So you just hinge forward, and you should feel that around the inner thigh. And then go a little further, rounding down if and only if it feels okay to you. Avoid forcing anything. So you really want to, sorry, I just realized that my phone's Bluetooth is also connected to these, so I'm going to turn that off. Oh, that makes life easier. Okay, so okay, so this thing about forcing, I just want you to work with your body in these poses. Because forcing is often what gets us injured in a yoga practice, and forcing is usually caused by the ego in a yoga practice. So just really listen to your body. Okay, and then take it all the way back up. Now, from here, we're going to play with taking the feet a little further in front of us. So rather than have the heels right up near the groin, or right up near the groin, I want you to have a bit more of a distance. So you can place your hands on your ankles, and again, roll the shoulders back and sit up tall. And then exhale, hinge forward from the hips and come again partway down. You'll really feel that in the hips. And then if and only if it feels okay, you can round down into that, taking the head toward the feet. And whatever you're doing, just breathe into it, okay? Deep breaths. Lift the head, lift the heart. And then from here, I want you to, okay, I'm going to offer you two options here. I'm trying to integrate a few different poses this evening, even though we're just taking it nice and slow. So I want you to take your right leg and extend it out in front of you. Now, you have two options. So you can either take your left foot and bring it against the inside of that right leg, or if it is available to you, I want you to lean into that right leg and you're going to take your left foot and you're going to bring it so that the shin is down with the top of the foot on the ground behind you. So this is known as a half hero. For some people, your knee or your ankle might not accommodate this, or it could just be that the leg isn't accommodating this. That's okay. We all have different bodies. So if that's the case, I want you to place that foot against the inner thigh, or even slightly further down. And finally, one last thing to say, just like earlier, if you find that that knee goes up really high, put something under it. Put a pillow, put a cushion, whatever you've got. Okay. All right. So in either of those poses, what I would like you to do is take an inhale, roll the shoulders up, exhale them back. Flex that right foot out in front of you. And then from here, take the fingertips to the sides of the knee, that front knee, but just be very mindful of that left knee. If at any point it hurts, just take it back up, okay? So we're taking it either side of that front knee. Breathe into it and just keep that foot flexed and just lean in ever so slightly forward, particularly if you have that, that knee bent at the side here. Okay. Now, again, because we're split, if you have this leg out in front of you, maybe keep going into a full fold or as far as you want to go. For those of you with the foot underneath, I want you to roll up and then walk your hands back and then lean back, just open up through the chest. You might feel a stretch on that front quad. Some of you might find that you can go all the way down, but if you do, that knee might lift. This can be a really good quad stretch, but again, just be mindful. We all have different levels of flexibility. So take another breath here in whatever version of the pose you're in. Getting a little wild tonight, offering multiple options. Okay. And then take it all the way back up. And then wherever you are, I want you to take that left leg out in front of you and just give it a shake out. Give both legs a shake out. Shake, 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 shake. And notice, actually, for a moment, notice if you have the fear of missing out, if you did one pose and not the other. And just notice that. Because of course there is no missing out really, because you're practicing and we could have chosen not to do any of them. So it's all okay wherever you are. And just kind of fun to notice our personalities and how we operate. Okay, bend up that, what is this, right leg. And then you're going to either turn it into the inside of that left leg or swing it around back. Mind the knee if you're swinging it around back. Flex that front foot. Take the fingertips either side of the knee. shoulders back, heart forward, flex the foot. I really feel that in my calf. You might too. Just breathe. Now, if you have that leg out front, elongate the spine, maybe go a little bit further, taking the chin down toward the shin or the head to the knee. If you've got the foot around the back, play with that quad stretch. So you're opening it up, opening up through the chest. And you maybe come all the way down onto the forearms or all the way down onto the ground. But if you're like me, the knee will lift a little as you do that, which is okay as long as it feels okay to your foot and to your knee and ankle. Take one more breath here. Okay. Then when you're ready, start to bring it all the way back up. Take that right leg out in front of you. Again, give your legs a little shake out. Okay. Just to say, because I forgot to say as we were doing it. So the pose where we have the knees to the chest and we're taking the legs wide and we're rolling them around, the one that's really good for the hip, that's also good for those of you going through the embryo transfer. Likewise, bound angle is a great pose for this. If you do a Google search, there are some beautiful there's some beautiful guidance on some different sites from yoga teachers. So obviously I am happy to give as much guidance as I can, but you know, again, trust your instincts, and if you want to investigate more, do so. So let's do another pose that is good for this tonight. So what I would like you to do is I want you first just to take your legs wide, and we're actually just going to start with a stretch we've done many times in these sessions before. So just take your legs as wide as you comfortably can. And I realize it might not be so comfortable, but however is suitable. And then take an inhale, lift through the arms. Oh, and then turn toward your right leg and hinge forward from the hip, bow down. And then roll the hands in toward the heart and inhale, lift up to the sky. And exhale over to the other side. And again. We'll just take one more. Okay, and then come all the way back to center. And for a moment, I just want you to take your hands out in front of you. Keep the feet flexed, roll the shoulders back, take the heart forward, and just breathe into this. Okay, and if you want to play with taking it further, come down onto your forearms. And if you can, stack your fists, taking the forehead onto stack fist, or take the hands down, or the forehead all the way down. But you do what's right for you. And if you really enjoy this type of leg stretching, I think some of you are like, who enjoys this? If you really enjoy this type of leg stretching, I also put a partner video out on YouTube, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago, where you do this kind of stretching with a partner. So, so please feel free to access that if you want to have fun with a loved one and stretching. Okay, take one more breath here. And then bring yourself back up. Now, another pose that is good for the embryo transfer period. What we're going to do is bend the knees here. So they were at that wide angle and we bend the knees. Now, I'm going to show you different variations of this pose, including the full variation, with the disclaimer that the full variation is only okay if it feels okay to you. That's true of everything, but it is a somewhat ridiculous pose if you're not used to it, okay? So this is our turtle pose. So what we're going to do is I want you to, again, we have the knees bent, and then I'm just hoping you can see this well because I know the light's changing, but knees are bent, the legs are out wide. And then you're going to take your hands and I want you to bring them under your knees and take them back. Now, this probably is going to be enough for most people. I know you probably feel quite ridiculous here. If you want to play with taking it further, you can play with straightening the legs out and taking the forehead down. This is not a pose that I teach very often for the reason that well, you see what it is. You can feel what it is, okay? So you go to the point that is right for you always. Okay. When you're ready, untangle yourself as intuitively as you can. Okay. And now from here, okay. From here, what I would like you to do now is just go ahead and swing the legs back in. Okay. Now flex the feet out in front of you, ground down through your sits bones. Take a nice big inhale, lift the arms, and then exhale, bow, hinge forward from the hip. Roll the hands back in toward the heart, inhale, lift, and exhale, bow. Take 3 more. Okay. Start to roll it all the way up. And I just want you to flex the feet out in front of you. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, sink the shoulders. Receiving this evening, this moment. And exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Reach your hands out like you want to give a hug, but your legs are getting in the way. And maybe even energetically send just a loving, kind energy out to everyone else here that's participating tonight. And then exhale, take the fingertips down either side of the knees. Roll the shoulders back, open the heart. So again, slightly arched or flat back. And then if you want to take it into a fold, you're just slowly going to do so, rounding down. You can hold on to the feet as anchors, but only as anchors, not as devices to torture your body with. Take 2 more breaths here. Okay. Lift the head, lift the heart, and then from here, start to just bring yourself down onto your back now. And just come down however feels right to you. And take a moment to sigh out. And just like before, you can either keep the knees bent or you can extend the legs. And then once you've come down, really just get yourself again comfortable. So if you want to use a pillow under your knees, or if you want to use a blanket, if you just need to wiggle around a little bit before you come toward a more still position, just do what you need. And then once you've come down and settled, close your eyes. Take a few last deep inhales through the nose, with exhales sighing or blowing the air out of the mouth. And just do that as many times as you need before settling back into the natural rhythm of your breath. And once you have come back into that natural rhythm, just let it take over as it always does. Feel your eyelids become heavy over your eyes. Just feel your body relaxing down, connecting to the earth below, here and now. And for a moment, I'd like you to just remind yourself how incredible your body is, which can be hard to do sometimes for so many reasons. But you have an extraordinary body that has survived every illness and injury so far. You have had presumably at least a couple decades in this body. Not everyone gets that long. So just take a moment to appreciate the fact that you have blood pouring through your veins, lungs that do what they're supposed to, at least such that you can be here now, breathing, hearing this, participating. There are trillions of cells in your body. Take a moment to thank them. We know that people perform better in workplaces if they're appreciated. It seems really simple. We know that in relationships, when we're appreciated, we feel better in those relationships. Why should the relationship with the body be any different? So thank your body for being here, for surviving, for just being. And then start to deepen your breath again. And draw some movement back into your fingers and into your toes. And then roll to one side. And when you're ready, bring yourself all the way back up to seated. Take your hands into prayer in front of your heart. And gently bow, honoring your body, your light, your practice on this earth. And thank you all so much for being here tonight and practicing together this evening. I hope you have a lovely week. As far as I know, it's the same time, same place next week. They'll tell you if it's otherwise. But yeah, have a really great night, and yeah, thank you so much. Yes, it is. Thank you. Someone just said it's a lovely view. It is. I realize this probably seems really odd, but my partner is Italian and neither of us can go back to work yet because of the quarantine situation and all of this. So we're just with his family. Okay. Have an amazing night. Bye.